Well, we definitely need to spend even more money because the veterans that are getting hurt now are getting hurt severely, and through our technology, they're surviving. When the Civil War, there were a lot of amputations. A lot of those people didn't survive. Today, people survive after amputations. But that's going to be expensive. Not only is it tragic for the servicemen that got blown up and lost a leg or an arm, but it's also expensive. It's going to cost more money. So when we have 110,000 people over in Afghanistan fighting an enemy we can't find, we need to think about the cost. You want to be fiscally responsible, let's think about it. It costs $1 million per troop. I honestly don't think Afghanistan can attack us. 40% of the people in Afghanistan are literate. That means 60% don't even know they live in Afghanistan. So you certainly aren't going to be able to mount an army. They don't have an air force. The people that attacked us on 9/11, they got lucky. But the people that were responsible for protecting us didn't have to pay anything. Nobody lost their job. Tell you one thing, if I'm elected, I'm going to make sure people are accountable for their job. I want to be on a committee that does that. We need a VA hospital in Columbus, Georgia. We have more veterans in Columbus, Georgia than you can shake a stick at. And they keep calling me. They call me from Griffin. They call me and ask me, what are you going to do to help me when you get elected? I need your help. I need you to advocate for me. I don't know why they keep calling me, but they do. And I tell them I'm going to help them as soon as I'm elected. We have veterans that are killing themselves. We have people that are being denied their post-traumatic stress disorder classification. We're trying to save money by cutting benefits to veterans, and that's unconscionable.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Saunders. Dr. Edwards?
Thank you. The reserved powers of the United States Constitution provides for a free public education. Do you support vouchers, including tuition tax credits, which would allow money going to private and/or charter schools? If yes, do you believe those private schools receiving these funds should be held to the same accountability standards as public schools?
Okay, Mr. Saunders will have the first crack at this one.
I'm not for vouchers. If somebody wants to send their kid to a private school, they can pay for it, like my parents did. I went to a private school in high school, and I was on the work-study program, so I had to cut the grass and do things like that. So I did get some help. But we don't need to be paying for private schools. We need to make public school better. What's going to happen if you get 4 vouchers is they're going to give vouchers, say it's $2,500 per kid in a household. You got 3 kids. They're going to come in here just like the Social Security, not Social Security, but the housing crisis. It's going to be a bait and switch. Yeah, come to our school and use this $2,500, and then come October, they'll have to sign some type of agreement where they have to meet certain academic requirements and behavioral requirements. And after they've given that voucher to the school, say maybe, I don't know, October 15th, they'll look at their record and find that, wow, little Johnny, he's not cutting the mustard. We're going to have to kick him out of school. So they got the $2,500, and little Johnny's got to go back to the public school. The public school didn't get that $2,500 because it went to the private school. It's a bait and switch. It'll happen. We need to improve public education, and we don't need, if somebody wants to start a charter school, they need to put their money up and pay for it. If Georgia Power wants to start a charter school, pony up the money. They keep raising my power rates, they've got it. If BP Oil wants to start a charter school, let them pay for it. That's how it works. Private schools need to be paid for by private companies or private people, not public funds.
Thank you. Mr. Westmoreland?
Yeah, I guess I guess that depends on what you say a voucher is. You know, if it's just a voucher for $2,500, as Mr. Saunders is talking about, I don't know of any private school around that you can go to school for $2,500. We offer a pre-K program through the lottery. We offer college scholarships through the lottery. So there are, and you have to make a certain grade. So there are people that get benefits from the state in different forms of education. So not all of them, not all students are treated equal. My daughter, my oldest daughter, homeschools her 2 children. My son, their kids go to public school. My younger daughter, their children go to public school. My oldest daughter pays the same property tax as they do. And she homeschools her kids. So I think that there is some way that we can look at giving somebody that wanting to send their children to a private school, to homeschool, some type of tax break, because the millage, the school tax millage, is put on your property value. And so you're paying for somebody else's child to go to school. So what is the difference? And so there needs to be some type of equitable situation that we can work out between the public and the private. Public school educates about 85% of our young people, so we certainly have to pay attention to that. But at the same time, they need to be responsible for whose money they're spending, and if somebody's taking on the full burden, the cost themselves of educating their own children, why shouldn't they get some type of benefit from the taxes that they're paying to the county or the city or the state? And so from that standpoint, I think there needs to be some equity in what we're doing. And I know that there's some way that the problems that Mr. Saunders could be talking about, of somebody getting a $2,500 credit and going, look, his daddy's going to be a lot more unhappy than the state, because that private school probably cost about $12,500. So the state would be out 25 and his pop would be out 10. There's a way to work that out to make it more fair.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I think at this point we should give the panel a breather and go to a couple of questions from the audience. And here's one, actually there were several questions related to healthcare reform under the Obama administration. And if I can distill these questions or summarize them, basically these folks want to know your position on healthcare legislation as passed under the Obama administration, and if you are not in favor of it, what you would propose by way of a replacement. Mr. Westmoreland, you would be the first to respond.
Well, I'm for repealing the Obamacare as it passed the House and the Senate. We need to replace it with something else. We need to start out with a little more common sense approach to our health care. You know, this whole healthcare thing started out about insurance prices, insurance being too high. And then all of a sudden it turned into healthcare. It turned into the government getting between the patient and the doctor. And so it went from one thing that it was supposed to be about keeping our insurance premiums down to going into who was going to take care of us. So we need to reveal it. And then we need to come back with some common sense stuff. We've got to change the third-party system of the way our insurance companies pay. If you go to your doctor and yourself work out a treatment plan that you think is best for you with a type medication, and then you call your insurance company and they go, no, we're not paying for that. You need to do something different. That's not right. You know, the decision needs to be between the patient and the doctor. We need to make sure that we can afford some of this through competition, being able to buy insurance across state lines. Sure, do we need a pre-existing condition pool? Absolutely we need it, but not with the federal government putting $5 billion in it at one time. Different states have uninsured pools that you can get into if you have a pre-existing condition today without the massive legislation. There's still 111 agencies, commissions, and boards that have not been established yet under the Obamacare. We're in for a big surprise one day when we wake up, and this whole thing, don't fool yourself, was funneled to go into a single-payer system, which would be the United States government, and then, you know, would you want to protect or give your health, the protection of your health, to the federal government? I'd say not.
Thank you.